Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's time again for another knife of the day. This is the series where we go through my collection one knife at a time, one day at a time. Sometime this week, I'm expecting new Spidacles, 4 knives. It's really one brand new knife in 4 different variations, which I really love. I've been looking forward to this knife. So that should come sometime this week. But right now, what we're looking at is the Reeve Mnandi, as in Zulu means very nice. The Mnandi from Reeve. This is with the Cocobolo inlays, dark Cocobolo. And the Devin Thomas Raindrop Damascus. Oh, I have a soft place in my heart for this knife. I have a lot of knives, and in my mind, the first thing I always wanted to do, and if you're a collector of anything, whether it's stamps, coins, or whatever, and I collect a lot of stuff, I almost said crap, but stuff. Usually I try to do, like, get one of each type. So like a type collector. And then I start expanding. So you try to get one of every knife when you're trying to collect Reeve knives. Or Spidacles. I did the same thing with Spidacles. I just wanted one of each. And then all of a sudden, you start getting a lot of paramilitaries, a lot of paramilitary threes, a lot of natives, etc. With Reeve, it was the same way. You know, I just need to get some plain Janes, an Umnumzun, a Reeve, Sabinza 21, a small 21, and a Sabinza 25. That for me was it. And then, of course, they went into Tylocks and Mnandis and now Inkosis. But man, when I got my first Mnandi, I was so thrilled. And now I have 7 of them. I'm thrilled to death. I'm now trimming my collection. You guys noticed yesterday I did a sale video for natives, and that's still up with some available. And I'll probably do those kinds of things on the weekend and also some other special videos on the weekend. So you should subscribe. I'm giving viewers a chance at the knives first, and then later I'll collect all the ones that haven't sold and go to some in-between person or do it on eBay or something. But just like all those natives I was selling or all the paramilitary 2s, you start with one. This is probably the type of knife that will be the last ones to that I consider even selling. I just think it is the perfect gentleman's folder. Just perfect. Now again, I work in an office. I could make the argument that a small Sabinza 21 is the perfect gentleman's folder. It just depends on who you are, where you are. The Inkosi, which is a little bit smaller than a small Sabinza 21. I'm going to show you both of those compared to this at the end. Perfect. Heavy. Both of those are heavier duty. This one is more fancy. It can do cutting. It has all that great craftsmanship that Reeve puts in his knives. But those are, of course, thicker and heavier, and I'll give you a look at those at the end. So let's talk about this. Now this is Reeve setting out to do a gentleman's folder. This one, let's see, out of the 7, 5 of them I put Damascus blades on them. I didn't put them on, I bought them with Devin Thomas Damascus. And the reason is, if you're going to get a fancy knife, let's just get a fancy knife. you know what I mean? The other 2 that I have, Spalted Beech and Box Elder Burrow, I think the wood is fancy. So fancy that I didn't need a Damascus blade for it. I'm sorry. I have 8. The other one is a limited edition number 10 Chris Reeve with carbon fiber inlays. Sorry about that. That also does not have a Devin Thomas blade, but this one does. This is the Raindrop, Devin Thomas Raindrop Damascus, which is just beautiful. Of course, with a Mnandi, you have the jimping on this 2.75-inch blade. Of course, if you're going to get a gentleman's folder, it needs to be legal most places. Most places. Maybe not in California and some other places, but most places. 2.75 inches. The total length is 6.4 inches. And here's the real kicker to me. Now, this has inlays. It has titanium liners. Just 1.5 ounces. Did you hear that? 1.5 ounces. Just a wonderful light knife. Yes, it does have a nail nick and a modern knife, but especially with the Damascus blades, you probably see when I do, this is the last one that I'm going over. So if you go on the playlist and just search Mnandis, you'll see all my Mnandis. But I always one-hand open them. Now, this is the newer Mnandis. And with the newer Mnandis, the nail nick, besides the shape of the handle, the nail nicks are a little shallower. And some people think you can't do a one-hand opener, but you guys see me do it. And you know, with me opening knives, I never practice. I don't flip open fast. It's just a natural pinch and open. But the D10 is very strong. And of course, the lock is the Chris Reeve integral frame lock. So you know how heavy duty that is. It almost looks like it's a liner lock. It isn't. It's just that these Cocobolo inlays, the scales for the inlay, goes over a little bit of the lock bar. That's on all Mnandis. You can see this dark Cocobolo wood. I love the wooden inlays because they literally are all different and they're very natural. So some of them, you can get a Cocobolo that's lighter. You can get them that with patches. You can get them all kinds of ways with knots in them. I kind of like the uglier ones. Of course, because I like the uglier ones, the more natural ones, all of mine are kind of look almost factory made, but they're not. See-through construction, easy to clean, great titanium, and that pivot, once I get with the R, is just a beautiful, classy pivot. And here's the other thing. He didn't just leave off there. Look at that clip. You know, Chris Reeve is not one that spent a lot of time on clips. I think the tie lock clips are pretty fancy. But for the most part, they're just supposed to work. Well, here, they almost look like an old-fashioned tie tack. You old folks know. The tie bar that you put on your tie. Just a real nice clip. You can even wear this, as I do sometimes, in your dress shirt pocket. With this out, people think it's an ink pen, a fancy ink pen, instead of a nice little pocket knife. This doesn't scare anyone. Usually I just get oohs and ahs. But it's a real handy knife to do a lot of simple gentleman-like things. The knife of the day, folks, it's the Chris Reeve Mnandi Cocobolo knife. 2.75 inches. A little bit smaller than the small Sabenza 21. And about the same size, but of course thinner than the small Nkosi, as you can see. But that right there, folks, you're looking at the three small Chris Reeve knives currently. The Nkosi, small Nkosi, the small 21, and of course the Mnandi. All three my favorites. All three, especially when you look at the carbon fiber on the Nkosi and the carbon fiber inlay, probably that was family of the carbon fiber inlay, family of Mnandis, family of the small 21s, and family of the full carbon fiber Shosai, Nkosis, and large and small 21s. You're looking at the representation of probably the last knives that'll go in my collection. There you have it, the knife of the day. Don't forget to thumb it up. Let me know to keep going. I really appreciate that. Subscribe. Let people know that this crazy guy is not only showing knives but also selling them every now and then. Subscribe so at least you can see what's available first before anybody else. Also new Spydercos, usually before anybody else, sometimes at the same time, but early nonetheless. And also don't forget, once you subscribe, to hit that bell so you know when the special videos are happening. You probably don't even know that I sell some of my knives. Really appreciate all of you guys. I really do. Take good care of yourselves. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.